Hey guys, how are you doing? Thank you so much for clicking on my video. You are very welcome to my channel. The special thing about this video is that I'm filming it in the presence of my mother-in-law. She's there laughing at me and I had to film this video because I had to film this video. Qatar is trending at the moment and it's not trending for the right reasons if you ask me. And I'm not particularly somebody who is interested in football, but I've been watching a lot of football of late and I've been very interested in the World Cup, especially about Qatar. I like the Qatar as a country. I like Qataris. So I felt like this would be a very good time for me to know about Qatar. People typically use the World Cup if they're hosting it or use any international event to showcase themselves, to showcase their culture, to showcase their religion, to showcase themselves as a people. So I was really looking forward to everything. I actually followed everything that was happening towards the preparation of the World Cup. And then when the criticism started coming in, I was like, now wow, are we never going to hear the end of criticism about World Cup? Because I remember when they were getting ready for the same World Cup in Rio, the same thing happened. But this time around, it became so serious because the calls to boycott Qatar was so loud to the extent that even the BBC boycotted and refused to show the opening ceremony, which I think was very beautiful. What are the reasons for the criticism? I'm going to tell you towards the end of the video why I even feel like this video is necessary for me to make at all. People are criticizing Qatar on one, their stand on alcohol, but they're a Muslim country. Everybody knows what the stand of Muslims is regarding alcohol. Number two, LGBTQ. And number three, the rights, protection and obligations that the country of Qatar has towards migrant workers, which is the most important point for me. So let me take them one after the other and let me see if I can make some points, if we can make some points together as to why Qatar is trending for the wrong reasons. Number one, alcohol. The truth of the matter is that alcohol and football are Siamese twins. They are like conjoined twins for Europeans. And the reason why the World Cup itself is even popular is because Europeans made it popular. It's Europeans that like football. It is almost a religion to them. So the way religion is important to you in another place, for Europeans, football is important to them like that. And then you know the way you go to a cinema and you are having popcorn, it's the same way beer is. Okay, so I think that the organizers of the FIFA, who were going to award people with the rights to host the World Cup, should have thought of how important alcohol is to football in relation to Europeans before they awarded Qatar with the rights to host the World Cup. But I think that generally, we always say is wherever it is, if you're going to a country, respect the laws, respect the people that are your hosts. So for me, I don't really see the reason why people are dragging this alcohol matter. Please do not drink alcohol while you are in Qatar. It's that simple. If you cannot stay for about 3 weeks to a month without alcohol, then don't you think you should go and see the person that will treat you for your addiction of alcohol? To me, frankly speaking, that one is unfounded. There's no reason at all why Qatar should trend because of alcohol. Then the second one is LGBTQ. Again, everybody knows Qatar's stand. Their laws are based on Islamic law, and Islamic law is against any form of LGBTQI. Therefore, again, let me reiterate is that if you are coming to a country, learn to respect their laws. And I think what they are saying in the law is not don't be a member of the LGBTQ community, but don't do it in public. And I think that it's just fair. It's just fair that in Europe, for example, or wherever it is, you don't beat women or you don't maltreat women. We all have laws that are peculiar to our own country. So if you want to come to Qatar, behave like the Qataris. For me, it is really that simple. In that, even if you want to be like that, don't do it in people's faces. Don't do public displays of affection. Respect their laws. It's not going to kill you for just 3 weeks or a month. It's not going to kill you. So please respect their laws. But you see this third one, number 3, the rights of migrant workers in Qatar, and not just Qatar but the entire Middle East. Those of you who know me and you followed my channel, if you check all my channel, my videos, anytime you see me talking about the Middle East, is generally not in good lights in relation to the way they treat migrant workers, whether they are Filipinos, they are Africans, they are Bangladeshis, they are Pakistanis, wherever it is. This country, Qatar, is a very rich country, but it's a very, very tiny country. So the people are stupendously rich. They are so rich that they can afford to outsource any form of labor at all. So you see this beautiful infrastructure you are seeing there was not built by the Qataris. Those ones, I call them, I call them money miss roads. They don't know how to work. Today there's no oil money. I don't know how they are going to cope. But that is really their problem. Most of this beautiful infrastructure you are seeing there was built upon the backs of migrant workers. These migrant workers that are there, nobody is complaining more than them. They are complaining so bitterly and so loudly about their plight there, about the kind of housing they are given, about the kind of their wages. As a matter of fact, I think it will be very, very fair for us to call what is happening in Qatar modern day slavery, period. The only difference between what is happening right now in Qatar and what is happening, let's say, what happened 300 or 400 years ago, is that this time around, you stand up from your own country, you go to Qatar and even submit your passport to the people who are going to enslave you. Because when somebody employs you, nearly works you to death. As a matter of fact, I saw a video on John Harris's channel about how the heating can be, the atmosphere can be so hot that they will be sweating. You get to a point where you remove your boots and you drain out the sweat. It's going to be like water. It is that serious, but people have to work under those conditions in Qatar and to the knowledge of the Qatari government. So what exactly, why do they have to do something like that? Then you come and present yourself as these very beautiful lovers of humanity, but in actual fact you are not. There is separate quarters for migrant workers who don't get paid, who do not have enough amenities there to live. Then there are other places in Qatar where you can't even go to if you are of a certain color or if you are of a certain background. Therefore, there is a place for the haves and for the have-nots. Then again, you know that this matter has been trending all over. The position of house helps, maids, domestic workers in the Middle East. That's if you even get to work for them in their houses, then you are literally going to be treated like a slave, and that is the one I have a problem with. And those who are calling Qatar out on account of that have every reason to do so. I think Qatar needs to be called out, not just Qatar, but every other country in the Middle East that takes advantage of migrant workers. But then again, it is also for us Africans and those of us that are from disadvantaged countries where people think going to Qatar to work is a good thing. It is for us to think, now that kind of thing you like, especially those of us who are from Nigeria. Is that what you think? Some people think generally, sir, when you are going there at a disadvantage because there are all sorts of fees that you are going to pay before you go to the Qatar. Then when you go to Qatar, you submit your passport to them, and that means that you can't even leave. You can't even leave. There are all sorts of laws that take away your power to protest. You are basically at the mercy of your employers. You cannot get another job until your employer permits you to do so, and that's slavery. I think that they called out the Qatari government to the point where they had to do something about that specific law that says that you cannot work somewhere else except with the permission of those who brought you into Qatar. And that's just what it is, that kind of thing. If we're going to put a magnifying glass on every country in the world, then we'll realize that nobody wholly pass, okay? But I have a problem with the way the Qataris are just carrying themselves as these very beautiful, saintly people. Yes, you are giving us a very beautiful place to do the World Cup, but beyond that, you need to look into the kind of migrant laws you have. You need to look into your country, and for those of you who are outside, remember that all that glitters is not gold. I hope I have made some points. That's at least my opinion on why Qatar is trending for the wrong reasons, even though they're supposed to be trending for the right reasons. If I made any points that you like or you would like to correct or add something, my comment section, as always, is open. I'd like to engage with you there. And if this is your first time of stopping by on my channel, why not subscribe? Subscribe. Thank you for those of you who have been subscribing. I've been noticing that the channel is growing steadily, gradually. And I'm so glad about that. I love you all. Check me out on Facebook and on Instagram as well. And if you want to talk to me, my email is going to be in the description box. I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Look at my kaka there. She's laughing at me. See you all later. Bye.